I'm going to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm going to make a decision. Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I'm going to give you my #1 secret hidden skill with how I've become successful in business, how I've become successful in property, okay? This is it. It is making decisions, and it is the ability to not only make a decision and a good decision, but to make it quickly. And in this video, I'm going to tell you not only why it's really important to be able to actually make a decision and make a decision quickly, but also explain why rich people and successful people, why they spend their whole life making fast, quick decisions over and over. That's how they live their life. That's how I live my life, compared to people that are not so successful, compared to maybe poor and middle class people who spend their life talking, discussing, analyzing. Rich people come and make the decisions. Now, you might disagree with me. This is just my opinion, of course. Let me know your comments and your opinions below. But this is definitely my life. My life, I mean, literally, my full-time job is a decision maker. You know, I'll be speaking to my staff and it'll be, you know, they'll have had a long meeting and then they'll say, what are we going to do? And if I don't quickly make a decision, all that's going to happen is going to put the brakes on everything. Everything's going to be slow. You know, shall we refinance or sell this estate? I got to make a quick decision. Shall we open up the academy events again, or should we continue doing them online? They'll have all the data, they'll have all the meetings, then they'll come to me. I have to make a decision. I have to make it quickly, you know? Or it might even be about hiring or firing some staff. You know, are we going to hire these new people? Are we going to open up this new division? And I've got to make a decision. I've got to make it quickly. And I've realized as time's gone on how important this is. And I really believe, and I'm sharing it to you right now watching, I really believe that if you want to be successful in property, if you want to build an empire, if you want to be successful in any business, you need to be able to make decisions and you need to be able to make them quickly. Now, in this video, I want to go through the process that I use to make decisions. I want to go through the formulas that I use to make decisions. And the first thing is this: it's okay to make a wrong decision. I think one of the reasons people are scared to make decisions and they delay it and they say, I'll think about it, is because actually they're afraid to make a decision because they don't trust themselves. So the first thing is confidence, and also confidence, not just that you're going to always succeed, but confidence that it's okay to fail. Second thing is to say, actually, you know what? I'm going to make a decision, I'm going to make it quickly, but I need all the information. I need all the data in front of me in order to make an informed decision. So it's about knowing, you know, and once you've done that, it just becomes very simple. Because then once you've got all the data, I mean, even yesterday, okay? Yesterday, I ended up somehow, long story short, I ended up sat in front of a doctor, and the doctor asked me a question, okay? It's a long story. It's a long story, but basically, I pick, okay? I got a little tiny mole here, little tiny mole. I always pick it. So I went in and I spoke to a doctor. I said to him, hey, I want to know, I don't know if he was a doctor or whatever he was. I said, can you chop it off? So I went in for a consultation. It cost me £50. I said, what's the crack with this little mole? I went in and he said to me, he said, yes, sir, I can chop it off. It would cost £350. It will be safe. And he went through the scenario. I was like, okay, cool. So what happens next then? You know, maybe I'll come in and book an appointment, or I'll go away, I'll go and think about it. Like, how does it work? He goes, well, you can just pay right now and I'll chop it off right now. I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. Now? Like, you're literally going to get a blade and you're going to chop it, burn it? Like, how does this work? So I had to do this thing, and this is what I use all the time in business, when I'm buying real estate, when I'm hiring staff. All the time, I have to make decisions, and I just do this. I say, firstly, what is the best case scenario? Okay, what's the best case? Secondly, is I'm going to say, what is the worst case? Now, I need the information in front of me. I need to know the data. I need to know the facts. I need enough information to be able to look at what the best case is, what the worst case is, and then I'm also going to want to know what is the likely case. Once I know these three pieces of information, once I know the best case, the worst case, the likely case, I am almost in a position where I can then make a decision. You can probably guess what decision I made, by the way, based on the plasters all over my face. So I'm thinking, what's the best case? Well, the best case, according to the doctor, is that he's going to chop it off. It's going to take about 5 minutes. And then, after a couple days, I'm just going to have no mole. I'll never pick again. I'll look better. It won't be annoying. Great. That's the best case. The worst case. I'm like, what's the worst case? The worst case is that he'll chop it off and it will go terribly wrong. It will hurt. it will get infected, it will grow back, or even worse, it won't grow back. I just have a little scar there forever. Okay, a little scar there forever. I don't want a scar. That's the worst case. And then there's the likely case, which is that it will chop off. It's a small little mole. All good. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, what happens if the worst case happens? Is the worst case going to kill me? Is it going to cripple me? Am I going to lose my legs? Am I going to lose my wife and kids? Am I going to be bankrupt? Well, let's face it, if it gets infected, it's a bit painful. Even if I'm left with a little scar, at the moment I got a little mole. A little scar, a little mole. Who cares? It's not a big deal. So the worst case isn't really that bad. The best case, yeah, cool, it's great. And the likely case, come on, it's all going to be okay. So that's the first part of decision making. Once you've done that, best case, worst case, likely case, I then do something called what would I advise my best friend to do? I had to do this when I was starting out in property. The first time I went into an estate agency, I remember standing outside the estate agency shop window thinking, I don't want to go inside, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Should I go in? Or should I go into that estate agency? Or should I just go home? And most people just, I don't know what to do, and they'll do nothing. Because it's like paralysis by analysis, or analysis by paralysis. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the best case? I'll go into the estate agency, and they'll give me a deal, and it'll be the first deal towards building an empire. Amazing. What's the worst case? The worst case is I'll go in, they'll say, no, we haven't got any deals, they'll kick me out, and I'll look stupid, and I'll feel embarrassed for a couple minutes. And what's the likely case? The likely case is they won't have any deals, I'll learn a couple things, I'll grow my confidence, and they might give me a lead in a couple months down the line. Cool. So once I've got this information, I need the information. Now I need to know what the best case, if the doctor said to me, oh, the worst case scenario if I was to chop your mole off would be, I'm not sure. I don't know what the worst case is. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not making a decision because I've got to know what the worst case is. If I know what the worst case is, within reason, we could always get hit by a bus. The worst case could be I could sit down in the chair to have it chopped off and then I could slip and break my neck and die, but that's not realistic. So the best case, the worst case, the likely case, within the realms of realistic, okay? Not being crazy, not being fearful, okay? So next is I'm going to say, great, now I know this information, what would I advise my best friend to do? I call this the best friend rule. If I want my best friend to win, what would I advise them to do? If I am talking to a friend, they're about to go into an estate agency, but they're scared and they're thinking, should I not? I'm going to say, what's the best case? What's the worst case? Then what would I advise them to do? Well, I'd probably say, go do it. So I went and did it. I'm thinking, my mole, what's the worst case? What's the best case? Worst case is I'll have a little scar. Worst case is I'll chop it, it'll grow back, I'll have wasted a few £100. What the heck, I'll do it. So I'm lying there, I'm getting ready to get this thing chopped off, and he goes, you've got another couple little moles. I'm like, have I? I look at the mirror, I'm like, now I've noticed. He says, do you want me to chop them off too? He goes, it's really, really cheap, because now you've got the one done, I'm here anyway, it's going to cost a couple extra. I was just like, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to make a fast decision. Chop them all off! So that's why, by the way, this whole video was really just a big disclaimer and excuse as to why I got all these little plasters on my face. Okay, I'm just kidding. So what would I advise my best friend to do? If it was my best friend sitting there, I'd probably say, don't be a pussy-o, just get your mole chopped off. You keep picking it, it's annoying, it's a few £100, get it chopped off, it's going to be fine, trust the doctor, it's okay. So I made that decision. When I'm making decisions about hiring or firing people, buying new deals, buying the castle. It's okay, if I buy the castle, best case, I'll make millions of pounds. Worst case, it'll be a pain, I'll end up selling it and I won't make any money. Likely case, I'll make 7 figures. What would I advise my best friend to do? I'd probably just say, just go do it. Okay, well in that case, now I'm just gonna act fast. I'm gonna say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I'm gonna make a decision. And constantly in my life, I'm making fast decisions. And here's something I really, really believe. On your deathbed, okay, firstly, when you die, your tombstone is going to have 2 dates and a dash. And the dash, little dash, is that little thing called life. Everything that you and I know. Life is so short. And on our deathbed, before we die, I don't think we're going to be looking back with regret saying, I wish I'd done less. I wish I'd not made those rash decisions. I wish I'd done less. I wish I'd taken less action. I think when we die, we're going to say, I wish I'd done more. If only I'd done that when I had the opportunity. I mean, literally, I've known people that are such poor decision makers. I've offered to give them a free house. I've been like, hey, do you want a house for free? Sign here and look, you'll get my house. And they've been like, oh, I need you to think about it. Oh, I need to speak to my wife. Oh, and it's like, but it's a free house. Look at the best case, worst case. Like, what's the worst case? Like, literally, come on, get real. But most people cannot make decisions. And I believe that's what's keeping people poor. On your deathbed, you're going to say, I wish I did more. Not, I wish I did less. So that's my topic today. Do more, don't do less. Make decisions and make fast decisions. I mean, it's such a shame that in 2020, most people, when they're 26 years old, are just playing PlayStation, living with their mom at home, not having to make big decisions. And honestly, it just freaks me out. So that's my thoughts. That's my opinion. That's how I'm living. I am a full-time decision maker. I make them fast. What do you think? Comment below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Peace out.